Welcome back. This is Realistic Scenario's Presentation Bootcamp. Let's look at stakeholder analysis. The takeaway. Stakeholder analysis is central to leadership and team building, it's central to business analysis and strategy, and it's central to presentation. So it's central to everything that we do when we are in business because it defines the goals and the functions of the organization. If you don't know who you are persuading, then you can't be very persuasive. The table of contents for this section. Stakeholder analysis identifies who you are presenting to. The calls to action, the CTAs, are directed at specific stakeholders. Your tone, your content, and the structure of your talk are all driven by this analysis. 1. The stakeholder analysis identifies who you are presenting to. A business presentation and the organization exist in order to drive actions, and the ones performing those actions are the stakeholders. You are either informing, influencing, or persuading, depending on who you're talking to. So you've got to know the target before you take aim. Otherwise, you're not going to hit it. And that brings us to number 2, the call to action, or the CTA. This is what drives the presentation. This is the reason for the presentation. You start out with the company need or the goal. Why do you have this company in the first place? And that's going to tell you who the stakeholders are. You have this company in order to serve one type of person and in order to get resources from another type of person. And those are the stakeholders. In order to get action from that stakeholder, you need to ask for it. So you need the call to action. And the presentation is just how you articulate, how you state that call to action. Your presentation is built around the CTA, and every CTA is aimed at a specific stakeholder. Finally, your tone, your content, and the structure of your talk are all driven by this stakeholder analysis. Now, sometimes you'll be talking to people who want to hear from you. They want instructions and they want information. So you're mobilizing them. You're mobilizing your staff and you're mobilizing your devoted fans. You're saying, do this, buy this, click here. Sometimes you're trying to speak horizontally. You're speaking levelly. You're trying to persuade peers and partners and colleagues that your approach is best, or that they should follow this timetable or this method. Sometimes, however, you're trying to speak up. You're speaking up to investors, to bosses, to the government. You're trying to influence and build buy-in. Final word, no stakeholder analysis, then you're just listening to yourself talk. You're just spinning your wheels. Every word, every image you present, every move you make should bring you closer to a specific action by a stakeholder. And that's the reason for the presentation, and by extension, that's the reason for doing business in the first place. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you again soon.